What if I told you that your next dream job could be scavenging for scrap metal in the dark corners of abandoned moons? And what if I told you that this seemingly suicidal career choice could earn you more than a senior software engineer at Google? Today, we're diving into the world of Lethal Company and breaking down exactly how much these brave, or maybe crazy the contractors, would make in the real world. Now let's be honest. Figuring out the salary for a job that involves dodging invisible creatures and outrunning giant worms isn't exactly something you can Google. But after diving deep into the salaries of similar jobs like deep-sea salvage teams, hazardous material handlers, and even Antarctic expedition specialists, I've got some fascinating numbers to share with you. But here's the thing about being a Lethal Company contractor that most people don't realize. It's not just about grabbing some scrap and running. There's a whole science to survival out there on those moons, and the real-world equivalent would need skills that would make even seasoned Special Forces operators think twice. Stick around, because the salary I'm about to reveal might just tempt you to submit your application to the company. Let's start by breaking down what a Lethal Company contractor actually does. Imagine being dropped off on a moon, darker than the deepest ocean trench, with nothing but a flashlight, a scanning device, and whatever equipment you could afford with your measly starting budget. Your job? Navigate through abandoned facilities that make haunted houses look like playgrounds. Picture yourself walking through corridors where every shadow could hide a threat, your heart pounding as your motion tracker starts beeping. You're not just collecting scrap, you're conducting a deadly ballet of risk assessment, team coordination, and split-second decision-making. One wrong move, one moment of hesitation, and well, let's just say the company's insurance policy is about to get some use. In the real world, this job would be a unique hybrid of several high-risk professions. Think about deep-sea salvage divers who brave crushing pressures and unknown dangers to recover valuable materials. Or consider EOD specialists who quite literally put their lives on the line with every operation. But unlike these professionals who typically specialize in one type of risk, our Lethal Company contractor needs to be a jack of all trades and master of staying alive. You're not just doing this job for the thrill, you're doing it because the company demands a hefty quota, which is 130 credits minimum per expedition. Missed that quota 3 times? Well, let's just say your resume better be updated. But here's what they don't tell you in the job listing. The real-world equivalent of those 130 credits would be worth approximately $13,000 in salvage materials per expedition. And you're expected to hit these numbers while playing a deadly game of hide-and-seek with creatures that shouldn't exist. But let's talk about what makes this job worth the risk. Deep-sea salvage divers, one of the closest real-world comparisons, make around $45,000 to $90,000 base salary. But here's the kicker, with hazard pay and specialized training bonuses, that number jumps to $150,000 to $200,000 annually. And they're only dealing with the crushing depths of the ocean, not interdimensional horrors. Military EOD specialists, another comparable profession, start at $70,000 but can earn up to $200,000 with special duty pay and bonuses. And let's not forget about industrial cleanup specialists handling hazardous materials. They're pulling in $60,000 to $100,000 base salary, with senior specialists earning up to $150,000. But a Lethal Company contractor? They're dealing with all these risks combined, plus a few dozen more that would make an insurance adjuster faint. We're talking about 85% higher mortality rate than deep-sea diving, exposure to unknown biological hazards, psychological trauma from encountering eldritch horrors, 0 evacuation options if things go wrong, and mandatory overtime when the sun literally never sets. Taking all these factors into account, plus the average successful expedition payout, a Lethal Company contractor would likely earn a base salary of $120,000. But that's just the starting point. Let's break down the full compensation package. Base salary is $120,000. Hazard pay, $60,000, which is 50% of base, compared to typical 25% for dangerous jobs. A performance bonus, up to $100,000 based on successful quota completions. A survival bonus being around $40,000 paid quarterly to those who, well, survive, and equipment allowance being at $20,000. That brings the total potential compensation to $340,000 annually, assuming you survive the full year. But here's the catch that the company doesn't advertise. The average contractor only lasts 4.3 months. That's not resignation time, that's life expectancy. Some of you might be thinking, that's not enough money to risk being eaten by a bracken. Others are probably already updating their resumes. But consider this. The highest performing teams, the ones who've mastered the art of survival, can pull in even more. The record for a single expedition stands at 600 credits. That's about $60,000 in real-world value for one run. The top 1% of contractors, the ones who've developed almost supernatural survival instincts, can earn upwards of $500,000 annually. These are the veterans who can hear a snare's footsteps from 3 rooms away and know exactly how many seconds they have to grab that gold bar before the lights go out. But is it worth it? That's the $340,000 question. When you compare it to other high-risk professions, the salary makes sense. Antarctic researchers make about $100,000 for dealing with extreme conditions. Underground mining engineers pull in $150,000 for facing cave-ins and toxic gases. But none of them have to worry about invisible creatures that can smell fear. So, would you sign up to be a lethal company contractor? Would you risk everything for the chance to earn more in 4 months than most people make in a year? Let me know in the comments below. With that being said, thanks for watching, and if you made it this far, hit the subscribe button. Also, click the video on the screen now because YouTube knows you will enjoy it.